Good morning, pregame crew. It is Wednesday, June 22nd, 2022, 8:21 a.m. Eastern, 6:21 a.m. Mountain Time. I'm Chargal Lori. You're at the pregame show. So what I do here every morning is I rip through the commodities, crypto, indices, movers and shakers of the day, and I'll get started on the meat and potatoes of the 25 charts approximately in 25 minutes, and I'll start that around 6:30. So maybe 9 minutes from now. So you can fast forward till this says 6:30 if you don't want to listen to the housekeeping. And I'm going to answer a few questions about charts between now and then. Audio visual check, please. Good morning, Amera Asia. Are you in North Carolina yet? Hey, Night Truck. Hey, Ian. Ian, that bike ride was the prettiest thing I've ever seen in my whole life. What a beautiful country you live in. Hey, Gerbil. Hey, Lisa, Mal, Greg. Bonjour, Maria, Matthew. Matthew, you panicked there for a second. Hey, Martin. Hey, Keggers, Derek, Nursen, Mary, Robert. Good morning. How are y'all doing? I haven't told y'all yet, but I'm traveling this week. So tomorrow will be normal pregame show, and then I fly out in the afternoon. So Friday morning, the pregame show is to be determined. The Airbnb that I'm staying at, I have to figure out if the Wi-Fi is good enough. If not, no show. So I apologize, but we will have a show tomorrow. Friday is questionable. And if I can't get good internet to stream, I will at least put out some notes for you. Yeah, hit that like button. Hi, Colby. BNTC, you're in Germany. Hello. Hey, Rob. Thanks, Night Truck. Hey, Rob. Rob. Lots of Robs. Or I'm just repeating the same one. Hey, Crypto XCLR. How you doing? Okay, any chart request? We have 7 minutes until I get started with the charts that I have prepared for you today. How many are there? I always say 25. Let's count. 5, 7, 10, 12, 14, 15, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So 23 today. It ranges from 23 to 25. So close. Hi, Carlos in Italy. Hey, Bobo. Israel. Man, hi. We got everybody represented here. Thank y'all for joining me. I really appreciate hanging out with y'all. It's so much fun. We got a gang fight that's going to go down later today, in my opinion, in this location, somewhere above 3693. If the Bulls lose that battle, then I'm looking down at 3650 area. So let's see if the Bulls can have a showdown right in this area for ES. 12-hour chart has the most clarity, and we're looking for potential inverse head and shoulders. NASDAQ is a little bit clearer. We have enough room for 12-hour high or low. So are you an aggressive bear this morning, top fishing this hourly low or high, or are you conservative bull waiting for that 12-hour high or low? Either way, I see a little Compton action happening right here. Bloods and Crips. Yeah, Crisp had bad data yesterday. Okay, we'll look at Meta. Meta's getting interesting for me. Okay, let me type. It's getting really interesting. So you'll see I did the work this morning. So you have your next support is 150.83 and then 142.25. Weekly's oversold. Monthly is not. Daily is not. 4-hour is not oversold and bullish divergence. Do you see this? Which doesn't always come to fruition. RSI is not making lower lows as price is. It really got dumped yesterday. So on the hourly, a potential bear flag. I was thinking something contrarian this morning on Meta, so hang here with me. What I was thinking is it would be not cool if you're a Meta bull, but I think a potential one more flush down. Yesterday's low. 155.97. Yeah, gap it down. And gap downs are for what? Buying. Gap ups are for selling, typically. So this is a gap down. I like this for a potential buy around 150.83. Get me that daily RSI oversold, and then we're going to be talking some business. So I actually buy, this is going to be weird. I like buying a lower low on Meta. I want that extension to the downside fully. 150.83, then your next support below that, 142.25, then 137.10. So Meta is getting very interesting. Let's look at Meta real quick. Look at Meta's PE ratio. It's so much healthier than other companies that we look at. At D-Dog, which that's totally off. That can't be right, but Meta has lots of cash on hand. I'm interested fundamentally in Meta, but I can't trade fundamentals. I can only trade technicals. So the fundamentals get me interested in it. Then I'll wait for the technicals to line up. If we can put in a 12-hour higher low in Meta, in the NASDAQ, I'd be interested in Meta as a laggard play. Tesla, I'm going to go over. Hello. I'm going to look at ETH. I always do. US 30 NAS. Never looked at that. Can you give me the trading view ticker? I don't know which one this is. You're gonna have to give me another one. I'm sorry, I have the YM, but that's not the same thing. Okay, Amazon, I'm gonna go over. LTC. LTC has enough room for a daily higher low compared to 41.41, and LTC doesn't look like the other crypto. Got a lower high, higher low, higher high. Now is this higher low set? We need to break this high to feel comfortable that the new higher low is set at 50.38. Looks constructive, stuck below the 21 EMA on the daily. 4 hour, we just lost our uptrend, and let's see if the bulls can step in and save this. They have enough room for hourly higher low. Good morning, Miguel. We'll get started in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 90% of the charts I'm opening this morning look like this. Hourly bear flags in the pre-market. If they have volume behind that, it's a more legitimate bear flag pattern, but most of them have this type of pattern. So something to be aware of. Okay, let me go to the daily real quick. We do have an uptrend. Support 517 and then 514. We're stuck below the 21 EMA. Did a gap fill yesterday? 602. Yep, we filled that gap. I would be shorting bounces up here. We've pulled back a little too much. 586 or 596. Those would be my resistances, or you're looking for a play off of 517 on a pullback. In other words, no man's land for me. One more. We've been talking about this potential Adam and Eve pattern. It needs to get that rounded part. It's just not getting the rounded part. On the weekly, we need to get through 129.90 to change the trend, but we would still be looking for a monthly higher low. On the daily, lots of work for these bulls at 124.35. You see how we had this squeeze here? And now we're getting those blue momentum histogram bars firing over the zero line, showing that bull momentum's coming in. I think it's interesting to buy on a pullback. How about that? Interesting to buy on a pullback for hourly higher low compared to yesterday's low. US 100, okay. Bear flag, hourly potential bear flag, and you're going to see that on all the indices. Y'all ready to get started? Let's get started on the pregame show. How about we just go through some indices, commodities, crypto, movers and shakers of the day. This is who I am, Chart Gal Lori. Give me a follow on Twitter, please, at Chart Gal Lori. You can check us out on chartguys.com. And literally the least you can do is just hit that like button. And if I don't give you a nugget during the show, remove that like button before you hit the exit. How is that a deal? All right. So I type all my notes out. My goal is not to read it to you because I know we're not in elementary school. It's just to keep me organized. If you're interested in my chart setup, you can click on the link below in the video description to receive a PDF explanation. Queen of the Mountain setup just means it's a setup with a higher conviction. Ninjas only means be careful. Watch your fingers and toes. It is a highly volatile setup, and it's for the consistently profitable traders. All right, hourly lower highs are on deck. They're most likely set. Let's look at ES. So hourly bounce is decent, but did it give the bulls enough room for a higher low? Not necessarily. We do not have an hourly higher low guarantee. We don't have one in the bag here with this size bounce. We ran into the quick EMA, the 8 EMA. We got upper wicks of profit taking, and then down she goes. If you've been around a while, you know I like to jokingly say this is like Compton Avenue. And we got the Bloods on one side, Crips on the other, and this is where the showdown happens. And at those locations of strong support and strong resistance, that's where we want to be entering. That's actually a good risk reward area, because I talked to y'all last week about Frogger. You have resistance and support, and everything in between is a fool's game. So if you have resistance here, you want to be going short. Okay, can I do an R? You're going to be going short near your stop loss, near resistance, and same thing with support. You want to be going long near that support, so you have a stop loss close by and it lines up and behooves you on the risk to reward ratio. So the name of the game, Dan has been calling it for 24 hours now. I'm going to go with what he's calling, because I agree. 12-hour lower high has been set. Now the question is, can the bulls set a 12-hour higher low compared to 36.39? It's a little questionable on ES. It's a little questionable. 36.39 is your next support on the 12-hour. Okay, NQ, look how much closer we are to that resistance. Bulls did a lot more work. They had their hard hats on overnight, and they have retraced a larger move than ES. They have enough room for a higher low compared to 11.06850. Your key resistance on the hourly for NASDAQ, 11.487, support 11.320. ES, did I give you the hourly resistance? Key hourly resistance is now 372475, and support 369325. If we lose that, we're looking down at 3661 and then that 3639. Left. Okay, so hourly lower high anticipated on NASDAQ, and that is most likely set. We have given ourselves enough room for a higher low on the hourly, and more importantly, on the 12-hour relative to 11.068. I gave you those levels. Okay, RTY, look at this bounce. That's much weaker, much weaker. So you have your new resistance set at 1713, then 1755. You have support at, on the hourly, 1658.80. 1649 and 1640. Do you see these upper wicks right here? A bear selling into the pop. Those are nice clues, really nice clues. The bears are stepping in and said, that's enough, bulls. That's enough. You had your day yesterday. Enjoy your dead cat bounce. And now we're taking back over. All right, YM, we have resistance at 30223, then 30,003. Let's go back to that 12-hour on YM and show you it is a little weaker than NASDAQ, but not as weak as RTY. Key resistance to get over, 31,000. 31,000. RTY, 1755. And in most scenarios, this is the FOMC high, 11,794. Let's call this 11,8. Super important to get over that FOMC high for bulls to show dominance. Otherwise, bears, as far as I'm concerned, are in control of all of these charts. FOMC high, the name of the game. So we did that one, ES. 3843, 3843, FOMC high. So any name that has established a higher high, either yesterday or is close to doing it right now in pre-market hours, they're stronger than names that are not even close to their FOMC high. So we segregate the weaker ones, the laggards, from the outperformers. All right, VIX. Thank you, MG, for sharing that. Okay, VIX. So I talked to y'all yesterday about we had this lower high set and a higher low was the most likely scenario. Now, the bulls have not given themselves enough room for a higher high. This chart alone, y'all know I like to call it the glimmer of hope. VIX potential of a 4-hour lower high on deck is the small glimmer of hope that I see. Because of the size of that pullback, let's measure it. We pulled back 75% of that move. So now odds favor a lower high. So 12-hour, mainly NQ, have enough room for a higher low. So those are the two reasons. This morning I'm looking bearish and this afternoon I'm looking bullish. I hope that makes sense. So right now the way the charts are set up are hourly lower highs are the more likely scenario. So I'm looking short this morning. And then when that VIX lower high is potentially set and that 12-hour higher low is most likely set, I'm looking bullish. So I will be an aggressive bear at open. I will scalp and then I will back off that idea once the bulls show up, if they show up. If not, I'll stay on that idea. And I'll be looking bullish in the afternoon. So the 4-hour charts, I know I've been saying 12-hour. 12-hour is good to get your bearings, but the 4-hour charts are really helping guide me and break down this next 6.5 hours of trading, how I'm going to look in both directions. Okay. So aggressive bulls are looking, we talked about that. Okay, the size of this range for the experienced iron condor seller, we have enough room for that higher low, but we pulled back a pretty decent amount. So possibly, what is this location? I want to be at the 50%. That's messy. Let me clean it up and do it for you again. Okay, so the 50% is 37.11. Do y'all see that? So around 37.11, I would like to sell an iron butterfly or iron condor. It would depend on prices on SPX, saying, okay, I want to sell a call spread up here and I want to sell a put spread down here, saying the odds favor we stay within this range. And I'm going to put a asterisk on that. Odds favor we stay in this range, but Powell has testimony in front of so-and-so and so-and-so. I don't even know who it is, but it could impact the market. So we've got to go in there knowing that. So I like an iron condor on the 12-hour, targeting this upper range to sell, saying I don't think we're going to, let me be a little more exact, here at 378, 375, and then support 3639, selling call spreads up here above 3783 and selling put spreads below 3639, selling an iron condor to open to collect premium. So I may look at that, and if I look at it, I'll probably, and I say probably, post it on Twitter as long as I remember. I have live coverage today, so a little off schedule for me. All right, ES, went over that. Hang Seng was down 2.5%. That's significant. So the China names that have been our little darlings, our little bull darlings every morning, they're not a darling this morning. They got sold off. So on our high volume scans, a lot of the names like Neo, Baba, Futu, they're down this morning because Hang Seng was down. DAX is down currently 2% because it's still open. It's down 2%. You see they're fighting. They made a double bottom, $12.95 by $42, but they got to fight to hold that right now. Is the DAX our canary? Is the DAX our canary? If we lose this 12-hour high or low, is that telling us ominous things ahead for market bulls? I will be watching it. All right, Bitcoin. I copied what Dan wrote this morning. Getting the 12-hour consolidation we were looking for. Now it's up to the bulls. 12-hour high or low. Same thing. Keep that retracement from being greater than 50%. So on the 12-hour, right now we're only at about 40%. That gives the bulls enough room to go take out a higher high. Let me draw it. That gives the bulls enough room for a higher high. Now, if we drop below 19,639, the odds of us getting a higher high on the next bounce diminish. So aggressive bulls are looking to fight in this, that's probably a little generous area, looking to fight in this area right above 19,600, and below that, we're probably wrong on that 12-hour high or low, and we're front running it. You're welcome. A condor, okay, so where are we on ES? 3,700. A condor, if we want to sell, let me type it. Sell to open iron condor versus iron butterfly. Iron condor would be something like this, SPY or SPX. Sell to open, Friday's expiry, 3750 to 3800. So you're going up and above the span. Calls, and then you that should have been 50. And then sell to open, same expiry, Friday expiry, 3650 to 3600 puts. So you have an opening in the middle. You see that $100? That's not covered. So on a butterfly, you're looking for the 3600 to 3700 puts, and then the 3700 to 3800 calls. So you see how that whole 200 point span is covered in a butterfly. And at iron condor, you go outside that range. So you're selling the out the money calls and you're selling the out the money puts. With a butterfly, you're covering that entire range. So that's the difference. Okay. Back here. I need to work on my vocabulary and explaining options. I have a lot of slang and analogies for charts, but I need to work on it for options so maybe I could better explain myself. So on Ethereum, bulls want to see this stay above 1036.40, and that increases the odds that on the next bounce we take out that 12-hour high. We need to stay above 1036 to give the bulls an honest chance at taking out that high at 1193 and getting a higher high. Oh, good, Paul. I'm glad sometimes I don't explain things a lot. I get worried that I'm a little bit obtuse or, Okay, so 12-hour broadening formation on gold. 1846 is your next 4-hour resistance, then 1848. So we're coming straight from a lower low, okay? So now bears could step in around 1850, defend, and we have enough room for a higher low now on the 4-hour. So this is, was it Kevin Hart? It's about to go down. So it's about to go down in this area. We have a daily EQ forming in the middle of this broadening formation, and how we break out of this to the upside or downside will most likely affect how we break out of this broadening formation. So just something to keep in mind. Hourly has plenty of room for higher lows. So if you miss this bounce on gold and you're a gold bug, I would wait for a pullback to the Great Wall of Louisiana in this area. And let's put some math to it. So 1837 at this point, if we were to slow down, 1837 keeps a bull flag, and that's not even a proper bull flag, but let's just call it shallow pullback. That shallow consolidation keeps a higher high on the table above 1837, and it matches up with that 50 MA at 1836. Tammy, I love you. Good morning. I haven't seen you in a while. I've been missing you. Okay, oil. Oil broke that daily inside bar to the downside. Let's get our bearings on oil. Oil, monthly uptrend. Weekly, uptrend. It doesn't feel like it, but it is. Daily, we're here. We broke this. Okay, we broke it by 40 cents. That does not a bear break make in commodities land. Okay, we need more follow through than that. Okay, so 24 and 36 cents. What did I say? 36 cents. That is not a bear break. Okay, bears want to see more. Bulls could defend this with a possible bottom fish. I think a bottom fish right here actually makes sense. And we have oil inventory tomorrow, by the way. It got moved because of the Monday holiday. Oh, so sweet. Hey, Wiggly Worm. Thank you. That's so nice. Thank you, Greg. I try. I really, really try. Okay, y'all. I like oil here. I can't believe I'm saying it. I like oil here for long. Let me explain my position. Okay, this is the hourly. Do you see how we just made a higher low on RSI? Price made a lower low. It's bearish divergence. Okay, that's a little bit of bullish. Okay, a little notch for the bulls, all right? A little notch, because they got a lot of work to do. 15-minute, we're in a downtrend, but look at that lower wick of bulls buying that dip. And then when you zoom in the details, the buying, it's actually more green than red. Look at that. So I just went long a micro contract of oil. We'll see how this works out, but I like this risk to reward using 102.88 as your support. Okay, so Amira Asia, what a great question. The EMAs are overhead though. How do you reconcile when to go long when that is the case? Here's how I view a chart. And I promise you, I'm not perfect, but 90% of the time, I am telling myself, stick with the larger trends, stick with the larger trends. I'm gonna sneeze. I'm gonna hit silence if I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. Okay, hopefully I caught that in time and I didn't sneeze on you. Okay. So regardless of where EMAs are, regardless of where dark pools are, let's go over synthetic resistance and synthetic support. EMAs, fibs, dark pools, psychologically round numbers. Those are areas where I'm going to pay attention. Those are synthetic though. The actual what matters when the rubber meets the road is where price stops and pivots. That's where it matters. So in the way I use EMAs is they're synthetic. They're not a reason for me to go short when they're overhead whatsoever. But I'm going to take note of it and I'm going to say, okay, and this is kind of synthetic as well, not so important. RSI patterns, RSI divergence. Doesn't mean it doesn't factor in my decision, but it's not as important as price action. So if we're here on a daily chart, let's say this is a daily chart, Amira Asia, and we just did a higher low, lower high, I am going to bottom fish a higher low, especially if this is a chart that's in a larger uptrend on monthly and weekly. I'm going to bottom fish a higher low. I don't care if the EMAs are sitting on my head. I don't care. I don't care if we got fibs. I don't care if we got dark pools. I don't care what's over my head. Price action, price action, price action. Now, I always think about it and say, okay, now if the bears put up a fight here and I just went long and the bears put up a fight, where's my stop? It's right there. So right now on oil, my stop is at 102.88. And I did a tiny contract. Now, if it starts going in my direction and changes a 15-minute trend, then I'll enter another one. So I'm waiting for confirmation to add to a full-size position. But I always have my risk defined. I don't care what's overhead. In general, if it's a great location on price action. Okay, I think that did it. I think I did okay on that. It wasn't so gobbledygook as the iron butterfly. Okay, oil's giving back a lot. This probably won't work, but that's okay. I'm okay with my risk to reward. Oil is clobbered here. Hourly's oversold. 4 hours oversold. Daily is not. So we're in a weekly uptrend and 4 hours oversold. Now it's already been oversold twice here. So I recognize that it may need to go deeper down, maybe even to 102.66 or 100 psychological in order to find a bottom. Okay, we just broke it and I stopped out. So you see how quick? Okay, I lost $25. $25. Now on the uptrend, I could have, if it would have gone in my direction, I could have made 200, 300, 400 as I added contracts. But that's how you keep your risk small when bears have this velocity. Yes, EMAs are overhead and you factor that into your position size. Okay, nat gas. Dan will go live in 10 minutes. I should be done by then. Nat gas. Now, I love me a good tweezer top. Oh, synthetic patterns too. That's not so important to me. A tweezer top, that's the actual price action level. But in general, it tells me bears are stepping in and I'm not going to get too cocky as a bull. Weekly, we are at support at 643. Odds favor we take out that 643 for a monthly outside bar. Do you see it? Once we take out 643, we have a monthly outside bar. And then nat gas could really get kind of crazy if we get into a broadening formation with this outside bar, which typically a broadening formation megaphone follows it. Am I getting too far in the weeds today? I feel like I am. Daily inside bar yesterday, support remains 655, then 640. 4 hour downtrend. I don't see anything to like here, and I think their inventory is still tomorrow. I don't see anything to like here to go long yet. 4 hour is not oversold. You see the difference? We are at the weekly 50 RSI. It could hold here at 643, but velocity is definitely to the bears. Apple. Okay. Apple had a potential hourly bear flag when I looked at it this morning. I like a top fish of 13641. When I change the level from high of day to an intermediate level, like a 15-minute, I try to put this in my notes, TCGers. When I copy this and put this in the chat room when we're done, I copy and paste that so you know it's different than the high of day. So 13641 is my first top fishing day level on the hourly, then 13706. So we have an intermediate level in between where price is now and the high of yesterday, 13641. I would love a bounce into the open to short. 13547. That could be an area to go short as well. It was a prior support, could serve as resistance. I'm covering these same 4 names every day. That's my current format. I like how it's going, so I'm going to stay with it for now. But it doesn't mean I see clear setups. I just go over these high volume tickers that y'all all asked me about. So I like Amazon on a short with this intermediate level 10927. Did I type that in my notes? Yes, 10927. I like to short Amazon. Looking for that daily. Actually, it's going to be a 12-hour lower high. 12-hour lower high. That's just not clear, y'all. It's not a clear setup, so I should be denoting that. NVIDIA, same thing, potential hourly bear flag. Do you see the theme? Tesla. Potential hourly bear flag. Volume weighted average profile is a wonderful, wonderful indicator. I am limited to the amount of indicators that I use because I don't want an overall junky chart, and I'm constantly looking at things, evaluating indicators to get rid of, not indicators to add. So I like my 8 and 21 EMA. I like my crosses of those, and I love the 50 MA and 200. So I'm just going to stick with what works for me, but volume weighted average profile is a wonderful tool for day traders. It's great. I know what it is. I've used it in the past. It's just not something that I find a ton of value in for me and my style of trading. Okay, this is my craziest name of the day. And my goal is not to be, well, never mind. My husband would beg to differ. Maybe my goal is to be crazy, but I'm not looking for wild calls here. But we have a gap down here at 30. Wait, where is it? 32.18. We have a gap. Okay, so we're filling this gap to the downside right here on FCX. Copper is beat up, like really beat up. So I like a bottom fish of 30.93 on copper. Now, copper doesn't have a lot of uptrends. Gold has more uptrends than copper. But do you see this daily stair step? If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can Google the video YouTube chart guys stair step. You see the stair step pattern with a daily inside bar? We're breaking it to the downside, and we're filling that gap at 32.18. Above 30.93, this could be a low risk, high reward bottom fish. Let me show you HCG so you know, not HCG, that's pregnancy hormone. HG. So HG, we have one candle that's breaking this stair step pattern to the downside, but it's definitely extended. Daily is oversold on copper. Now, FCX tends to misbehave, so I'm going to be patient with this potential trade setup. LI, China names have been in favor. This thing has been running super, super bull. So we're running in front of the bull train, so we have to be careful and use our stops and risk management rules appropriately. 37.45 is your resistance over yesterday's high of 37.02. I don't just jump in up here because I tell y'all scouting. And I want to emphasize this. Where did I tape it? We need to distinguish the difference between scouting and trading. I am scouting a lower high on LI. Actually, it's not on the weekly, it's on the monthly. On the monthly, I'm scouting a lower high. Does that mean I'm trading it? No, scouting. There's a difference. It's akin to the difference between I'm going fishing. If you caught a fish every time, they'd call it catching. They don't call it catching, they call it fishing. So when I say scout a bottom fish, scout a top fish, that doesn't mean you should automatically take that trade. That means you go to the fishing hole, you look at the trade setup. If it sets up well and all your correlations are aligned, then you take that trade. But scouting shouldn't become trading all the time unless the setup works. So right now I'm scouting a monthly lower high on LI. That doesn't mean I'm going to take it. If it pops through 37.02 and then gets to 37.45, it's on. It's on pecan. So I'm going to set my alert for 37.35. Tell me at that level and tell me at $37. And then I'll evaluate it. And I'll go scouting to see what the fishing hole looks like. Oh, you're welcome, Train Man Dan. Okay. Neo, same thing. This thing is super bullish, super bullish. So I'm looking for a top fish against yesterday's high, 23.10. 23.10 and then ultimately 23.98. Let's go set some alerts. $23. Now I'll go evaluate the fishing hole. 23.88. I'll go evaluate the fishing hole. You can see it's up here. This is my number one watch for today is Neo. And I'm not saying the Neo setup is better than LI. LI is just a little more bullish, so I don't know. I want to step right in front of that train, and I've traded Neo enough to know how it moves. Like Dan has found and shared with us the first 15 minutes. You know, it gets kind of jammed up with brokers and it just freezes. So you kind of have to wait 15 to 20 minutes to ascertain its relative under or outperformance to the market. Okay, this is another weird one. Okay, I will admit I have a bias against Sono. We got Sono speakers and they will not stay hooked up. So it made me go look at the chart. So I'll admit to it. So on Sonos, we have a gap down here at 1759. I can make you sick and go show you, or you can just look at it yourself and see that it's there. Just right below us at 1759. This is a daily bear flag potential. I'm looking for a top fish against 2022. 2022 for a potential daily bear flag on Sono, scouting a potential gap fill below. Got all that? Daily bear flag potential, scouting a top fish against 2022, aiming for a gap fill below. Okay, so that's all my setups. I have time to go over one more. Anon, I don't use the 20 and 50 EMA. Those are exponential moving averages. I trade commodities a lot. And Jungle Funk has shared with me, he has found that commodities respond to the standard traditional indicators like the 50 simple moving average, the 100 simple moving average, the 200 simple moving average. Every chart has a personality, and you got to know what tickers you trade and how they respond. And what I trade, 8 and 21 works for me. They're part of the Math Fibonacci series. They occur more often in nature. I like them, and they have faster signals. And I'm an options trader and a futures trader. I like to trade things with quick signals. I want to know before everybody else. So the commodities, the 50 and 200 help me, and they also help me on stocks as well. I need to know where algos are triggered. I need to know. And if I know people that use the 89 because it's part of the Fibonacci math series too. God bless them. I can't have all those indicators on my chart. So I'm sure I will be ditching the 200 would be the first thing that I ditch off my next iteration of my trade setup. But for right now, I'm keeping it. But I'm always looking for things to get rid of. I'm looking for fewer charts to watch. I'm looking for fewer indicators to use because price action is all I need. You're welcome. Oh, but BA worked out, huh? You know what didn't work out was the indices head and shoulders, but that's okay. Okay, commodities. Channel. Okay, it's an indicator. I have no opinion on that. No opinion. I can look at it after hours and see if I can find anything to give you my opinion on it, but I can't do that right now. All right, that's it for me. Lord, Dan's just started. I got to go listen to him. Y'all have a great day. Use stop losses. Hit that like button. Hit that notify button. Hit that subscribe button. And use stop losses.